Good morning! Happy New Year! First Shabbat of the year. And I pray that you have a very blessed Shabbat today. So, this morning, we are going to be studying the word blessed. And this is the word that we're going to see when Yahushua teaches the Beatitudes or the Sermon on the Mount in Matthew 5. So, is this word blessed connected to the word blessing? And so we will see the difference between these two Hebrew words, because there are actually two Hebrew words. One is Ashrei and one is Baruch. So later on we're going to find out what word was used in Matthew 5. So to start with, let's go to Matthew 5. If you have your Bibles with you, open them in Matthew 5, or if you have your tablet, if you have your cell phone. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you have as long as you have something. Okay, so Matthew 5 talks about the Beatitudes, or the Sermon on the Mount, where it says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, because theirs is the reign of the heavens. Blessed are those who mourn, because they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, because they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, because they shall be filled. Blessed are the compassionate, because they shall obtain compassion. Blessed are the clean in heart, because they shall see Elohim. Blessed are the peacemakers, because they shall be called sons of Elohim. Blessed are those persecuted for righteousness' sake, because theirs is the reign of the heavens. Blessed are you when they reproach and persecute you, and falsely say every wicked word against you for my sake. Rejoice and be glad, because your reward is in the heavens is great. For in this way they persecuted the prophets who were before you." Okay, so that word blessed that we have read in Greek is makarios, and in Hebrew is esher or ashrei. See? And the word makarios means blessed, happy, to be envied, fortunate, or in Tagalog, parang sinabi mo, ang swerte. Pero hindi naman tayo naniniwala sa swerte. We don't believe in luck, right? So appropriately, it's fortunate, or one who is enjoying the good life. So what is the other word in Hebrew? Aside from the word ashrei, there is another word which is baruch or barakah. And this is the word used in Genesis 1 when Elohim blessed creation, blessed the man. So these are two different Hebrew words. Now, another verse is in Psalm 1 where it says, "Blessed is the man who shall not walk in the counsel of the wrong." So this word is ashrei. And then another one in Psalm 2:12 where it says, "Blessed are those taking refuge in him." So the word ashrei is very different from the word baruch. Because you know how when you say, "How are you? I'm blessed," right? Or "I want to bless you with the blessings of God," right? So what do we mean when we say blessed? What's the difference between ashrei and baruch? Okay, so the word ashrei comes from the root word esher or shar, which means cord, or if you combine the letters of shar, which is shin and resh, see, it means press the beginning. So it is ropes and cords that were usually made of bark strips, such as from the cedar or from the sinew of an animal. And then the rope is made by twisting two fibers together. A single fiber is attached to a fixed point. So the second fiber is twisted clockwise, opposite of the first fiber, and then the rope is used tightly to secure or support something such as a load to a cart or the post of a tent. So here we see how one is made strong by tying or by connecting, right? So the word esher is something where you say you are so happy because you're coming from a very secure place, right? Because that is that idea to secure something. So then your life is very secure, your life is good, right? That's why it's Ashrei. It's you're having a good life. Okay, but Ashrei is coming not from the point of view of the person who is living the life, but it's coming from the observation of outsiders, of other people. So when I see somebody who is living a good life, who is fortunate, so I say, Ashrei. Yeah. So that is Ashrei. Just like Queen Sheba when she visited Solomon, okay, in 1 Kings 10. Okay, I want to read that part. Okay, so because you're gonna see how Solomon's life is so full of prosperity and abundance and security. And so this is what the Queen of Sheba observed, right? Okay, so let's go to 1 Kings 10. And the Queen of Sheba heard of the report of Solomon concerning the name of Yahweh and came to try him with hard questions. And she came to Jerusalem with a very great company with camels that bore spices, very much gold and precious stones. And she came to Solomon and she spoke with him about all that was in her heart. And Solomon answered all her questions. There was no matter hidden for the king that he did not make known to her. And the Queen of Sheba saw all the wisdom of Solomon and the house that he had built, and the food on his table, and the seating of his servants, and the service of his waiters and their attire, and his cupbearers, and his ascending offerings which he offered in the house of Yahweh. And there was no more spirit in her. Para siyang naubusan ng hininga dahil she was like so amazed with all the things that she saw. Okay, so and then she said to the sovereign or the king, the word I heard in my own land about your words and your wisdom was true. But I did not believe the words until I came and saw with my own eyes. And see, I have not been told the half of it. Your wisdom and prosperity exceed the report which I heard. Blessed are the men, and blessed are these your servants who stand continually before you, who are hearing your wisdom. So sabi niya, Ashrei are your men, Ashrei are your servants. They're very fortunate. They are living a good life because they are your servants. They live in your kingdom. Okay? Now, there are also some writers like Ben Sirach. I don't know if you've read the book of Sirach, or what they call Ecclesiasticus. That's another name for it. And he said that there are things that he thinks are Ashrei. So this is what he said. This is Ben Sirach from the book of Sirach. And this is one of the apocryphal books. So it says, I can think of 9 whom I could call Ashrei, or blessed. And a 10th my tongue proclaims, a man who can rejoice in his children. Right? One who can rejoice in his children is Ashrei. Who lives to see the downfall of his foes. Ashrei the man who lives with a sensible wife, and who does not plow with ox and ass together. Who does not slip with the tongue, and who has not become enslaved to an inferior. Ashrei is the one who finds good sense, or good friends, and the one who speaks to attentive listeners. How great is the one who finds wisdom. Ashrei is when you want to give your opinion of someone who is blessed. So when you see somebody who has all that, according to Ben Sirach, or according to the psalmist, when in Psalm 1, he talks about Ashrei is the man who will not walk in the counsel of the wrong. So if you are not in the presence of the wicked, or if you are not together with people who are sinners, who are scoffers, and you delight, and you see someone who delights in the Torah, who are enjoying the commandments of Yahweh, the presence of Yahweh, that person is Ashrei. He is like a tree planted by the rivers of water, and one who is secure and who finds refuge, like in Psalm 2:12. That is Ashrei. That person is blessed. Now, okay, so now what is the meaning of Baruch? So compared to Ashrei, where one is observing a person who is living the good life, what is Baruch? Okay, so in Genesis 1:22 it says, and Elohim blessed them, saying, be fruitful and increase, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. So he's blessing creation, blessing the fish, blessing the birds, the animals, okay? And then in 28 it says, and Elohim blessed them. This is Adam and Eve. And he said, be fruitful and increase and fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over all creeping creatures on the earth. Then in Genesis 2:3, Elohim blessed the seventh day, and it's set apart because on it he rested from all his work, which Elohim is creating, in creating had made. So this word blessed is different from the word ashrei. This word blessed here is the word barakah, meaning to liberally give blessing, give a good life. So here, the blessing, the attention is on the giver, because only God is able to give a good life. He's the one who is able to give the life of Eden, the goodness of Eden, the goodness of the garden. All right. So here the focus is the giver to the one who is being blessed, while ashrei is the person who is observing the life of a person who is blessed. Okay, so in Matthew 5, this is like the great reversals, because here Yahushua is pointing out, he is observing and letting people see what a good life is. And it seems like it's all the opposite, because the first part of, let's say, verse 3 of 5, it says, ashrei are the poor in spirit, or the powerless, okay? Because theirs is the reign of the heavens, right? So the second part is the blessing, but the first part of that verse, Yahushua is trying to point out what is the good life, what is how a person is blessed. And he's blessed because of the second part, because theirs is the kingdom of the skies, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God, even though you are powerless. See, this is ashrei. And you think, like, how can that be blessed? How can that person enjoy a good life? And this is what Yahushua is saying, that this state, like when you are powerless, when you are mourning, when you are like meek, like hopefully I'll be able to teach all the beatitude later on. But Yahushua is pointing to that. So it is the upside down kingdom, but it is the true kingdom, right? And so this is the word blessed that we have watered down a lot when we say it, and we say it a lot. It's kind of like a very religious word, like holy, right? And sometimes because of the familiarity of the word, we truly don't really understand what it's the meaning of it in our lives. But that is what ashrei is. That is that word blessed in Matthew 5, in Psalm 1, Psalm 2. And so there is this blesser, okay, the one who gives the blessing, and that is Yah, and he is the one who is capable of giving us a good life. And when we receive that blessing, we are going to enjoy the blessing of God, even though sometimes life gives us difficulty, like, but because we know that God is blessing us, he is the one who takes us under his wings, because that is what Psalm 2:12 is. We are safe, we are secure in him. See, no matter what happens, even though we don't have all the material favors or the material things in life, but because we have this knowledge that God is the one giving us all this blessing, allowing us to enjoy life, we are blessed no matter what.